Welcome back, Nine World Chronicles audience. As always, I'm appreciative to have you guys join me today as we're talking more mythology and gods. And as you can see today, I've got a trifecta of deities to which we're going to comment on, right? If you know your mythology, you know who these guys are. These are big hitters of Greek mythology, right? You got Zeus, you got Poseidon, you got Hades, right? The power brokers, right? God of the heavens, God of the seas, God of the underworld. They've been known by many names. They are the sons of the Titan Cronus, right? They led the rebellion that overthrew the Titan pantheon and control of our galaxy, right? They did a lot of things. Had magical weapons. You see, you got a lightning bolt here. You got a magical trident, and you have a sword. All made by the Hundred Handers, right? These guys who have been thrown into Tartarus by Cronus, punished for being ugly. There's only sin. It's a very cruel world. But I'm not going to talk about their magical weapons. These guys, as you know them, the lords of the world, I like to affectionately call them the gods of raping, right? I call it Rape Brothers Inc. That's a working title. It's a work in progress title right now, but we're going with it right now, okay? The Rape Brothers. I don't even see how people worship these guys because they did more raping than anybody on the planet. You can take every pantheon of deities together, all the pantheons in the world, they don't add up to as much raping as what these guys did here. It's completely ridiculous, okay? So let's dig into it. Let's look at Hades. You know, you're Hades. You know, you run in the underworld. Like, it's a bad job, but you're at least the boss, right? A lot of us would be very happy to be the boss of a bad company. So you live in the underworld. You would think, okay, you know, it's a lot of women who die, and they go to the underworld just like everybody else. You would think you would just pull the baddest dead woman there and be like, look, what's up, girl? You know, look, I'm Hades. I'm running things down here. You know, if you need anything, just, holler at your boy, and, maybe I'll, take you out later, show you around. Yeah, those are my dogs, those demon dogs, those are mine. The river sticks, I just had that put in. I maintain the river. That's my homie Carry-On right there. You probably met him when you came across if you had your coinage proper, right? But that's not what he does. Now, he doesn't do like regular guys would do. Like, hey, girl, I got a magic sword. I'm balling down here. I'm living it, right? No, you creep up to the surface and you see very innocent Persephone, right? And why Persephone did not know that, hey, you can't be walking around outside. I don't believe in blaming the victim, but yeah, you just gotta really can't. There's satyrs out here. There's men, like everybody wants to get their raping on. Nobody worse than these guys. So he just snatches you up, and now you went from being in the field picking flowers and dandelions to now you're the wife of the Lord of Hell, right? And all of us suffered. Poor Persephone is suffering, right? And she's like, I'm not eating anything. I don't be here. I don't like you. And he's like, well, just eat this. Just eat this one pomegranate seed. She was starving. She eats this one pomegranate seed. He's like, gotcha. Now you have to live here for half. Now you are my wife for half the year. And that's just what it is. And the rest of us suffer because Demeter was like, I'm upset. My daughter's not here. I'm not going to work to make the world bountiful. That's how much he didn't even care. I don't even care if crops don't grow. I'm snatching this chick. Period. This is what's happened. I'm purely out for myself because I'm selfish and raping comes first. And we just tell this story, how the seasons, like, why do we have seasons? Oh, well, Hades came up, snatched up Persephone. Her mama got mad, but it's all good. She ate a pomegranate seed, so she's his. So imagine you're her and you're on the surface and you're like, man, I got like 3 more months before I got to go back down there. I got like 2 months, I got a month and I got to go back. I mean, you think it's bad when you got to go back to jail? This is what you got to deal with. This jerk who's clearly just stole this little young innocent girl. He's probably thousands of years old by this time. You've been down running the underworld forever. She was young, probably very virginal. Now this is your first, like, and when he got you back home, it's like, that's it, girl. That's it, me and you. So yeah, let's get it going. So, but he's not even the worst one of them. That's a terrible story. We're gonna move on to Poseidon, okay? Now, we all know the story of Medusa, who was not a bad person. Medusa was absolutely the victim in this entire story, but we think this guy's the hero. We venerate him. He gets a magic trident. What was she doing? First of all, she was at work. This is on-job harassment, okay? This was a sacred place. This was the temple of Athena. So this is the equivalent of like you're at church. You work down there at the church, and you're down there doing church business and all that, and somebody just busts in and rapes you right there in a sacred holy place. And here's the thing, you get in trouble for it. He didn't even care. He's like, yeah, I just came from raping that girl over in your. Yeah, you should fire her because I was able to get in there and just rape her easily. I mean, look, I had to use my godly strength, but she didn't really fight back all that hard, right? I'm sure he said she wanted it. I'm sure that's what went down with Perseus. Guys, you think is such a hot guy, you want to put him in video games and put him in movies like he's some kind of hero. Rapey. Very, very rapey, okay? Whatever punishment you get, you ruined Medusa's life. Not only was she victimized and probably suffered all kinds of traumas, they literally turned her into a gorgon. They literally made it so that you've been horribly violated. Now I'm going to make sure you never can find love after this. I'm referring to a hideous monster. So you have to live on this island all by yourself. And I'm sure, okay, Medusa seems like she's probably a reasonable person. I'm sure she didn't hate all men. Okay, so she probably didn't even want to turn everybody into stone. But now that's what I got. I got snakes for my head. My eyes turn people into stone. I got a snake tail. And oh yeah, I got raped by Poseidon, who's a jerk. That's Medusa's story. But somehow we venerate this guy and say he's good. Okay. So now we're going to get to Zeus, who is the GOAT, the greatest of all time at raping. If this was a sport, you would be Michael Jordan. Like untouchable, right? You got at least 6 championships, 6 rape finals MVPs. You probably had, I'm sure you led the league in raping that year. I know there was at least 3 years, probably more, that you led the league in raping. Your rape percentages was probably like, you probably shot, a respectable 44% from downtown, long distance rape, right? You were probably really good at the rape free throw line, maybe like a 87, 90, probably like a 90% rape free throw line shooter. You had an all world game. You could rape on anywhere on the court. The whole court, you were literally like, you had Kevin Durant range, right? I could take you in the post and rape. I can rape you out on the perimeter. However you want to do this, I don't even care what defense. You could play a zone, 1-4, drop back. You can even bring some cornerbacks in here and run a deep coverage too. He's getting through that defense and raping. This guy had every raping trick in the book, okay? So first of all, let's talk about who he actually did his raping with, right? I'm going to break these, and this isn't even all of them. This is just a very short list of who he was raping on, okay? Let's take a look at this thing, okay? So first, this jerk turns himself into a swan. You turn yourself into and this will not be the only time he turned himself into a swan. He turns himself into a swan and he rapes Leda, okay? And then we act like Leda was like his chick later. Like he raped her and then you get to keep her. He learned this from his homie, his brother, Hades, right? If I rape you, you're mine. Man, imagine that. You see a girl and you're like, man, that one is special right there. I've been trying to get her number. Like I was like, yeah, what's up? How art thou? Give me thine numerics, whatever it was. Maybe she would have to chisel it into a stone. I don't know if they were literate enough to write back then, but he was like, give me your numerics. And her number was probably like 3. So he didn't want to do that, right? He's like, I'm going to creep up on it. Turn myself into a swan. He's like, oh, look at this beautiful swan. Gotcha. It's already in progress, right? It's already going down. But that's not even the worst part of it, right? Then there's another myth in which he turns himself into a golden shower and impregnates Danae, right? A golden shower that rains down on you and now you're pregnant. Does that not sound gross to anybody but me? But that's the kind of shit that this guy does. Unbelievable. He's like the head of the pantheon. This is like the CEO. This is like Jeff Bezos just running around raping people. And we're like, yeah, well, he's just raping, okay? And then he pretends to be Alcmene's husband, right? And that you sneak in there. I mean, there's nothing dirtier than, thou art mine husband. And you see your husband come on. He's probably was at war earlier today. They probably, leave the house about 8:30. Got to be on the battlefield. Everybody gets on the battlefield about 10. You fight, you kill. Either you live or you die. But whatever, the war is probably going to be over about 4:30. By the time you get up, you clean up all your weapons, get everybody back. All right, guys, good job. We won the war today. Get back home like, man, I am tired, man. All I want to do is, get some ambrosia and maybe some wine, water. I know how that very potent wine back in these days, you put water in it, right? All you want to do is like, yeah, I'm going to go and call it a day, homie, man. I'm about to go in, my lady at the crib. We'll have some wine, maybe do a little bit of worship, and hey, husbands and wives. And you come home and you see somebody looks just like you getting out of bed laughing, right? And that was Zeus. And he turns back into himself before he turns to ego and goes out the window, just to let you know, yeah, I just smashed your wife, right? And your wife's like, oh, no, but of course you're whatever his name was. You're like, I can't take it. You're pregnant by this guy. I got to kill you, right? I'm totally upset. Zeus understood exactly so you destroyed a family. That's ultimately what you did. Your son had to live on this island. I'm sure that was terrible until he grew up. So you're just wrecking people's lives, just raping and wrecking people's lives. How these guys are allowed to? How are these guys not in Tartarus, right? Isn't that the jail that they send people to? You sent the 100-handers to Tartarus simply for the crime of being ugly, but these guys get to rape at free will, right? Just grab them by the P word, as they say, no consequences at all. Well, I'm calling it out. I'm no longer going to sit back and listen to people talk good about, as I call them, the Rape Brothers Inc., right? The 3 rapinest gods that have ever existed in the history of raping and gods put together. Thank you again for stopping in 9 World Chronicles as we start to dissect more and more of some of these deities. We have some other more serious profiles about these same gods, so please feel free to check out our channel, peruse, see if you like some of the other information there. And as always, thank you for stopping in.